Hello, Geekwalker here for another short episode of the Geekwalker podcast, or walkcast, as we fondly call them. I have a few things to talk about very quickly today, and I'm walking an alternate route because there's a dude with a leaf blower over there making a lot of noise, and I hate leaf blowers. Long story. I don't really want to go into it here. First, I want to shout out to a podcast that you should be listening to if you're a big geek and you like things. It's called the Level 30 Podcast, level30.net. Two very funny Australian guys, JT and Stefan. I'm an official friend of the show, and they're an official friend of this show. And they have geeky talk every week on their show. It's audio only. But I'm going to hashtag segue to something they talked about in their most recent episode, and it's not that they were talking about me, but I do appreciate the shout out. It's the new SimCity game. It might have been another episode. If you don't know what SimCity is, it's quite popular back in the 90s. Essentially, total management of building a city from scratch to designing the layout of the city, commercial, residential zones and stuff. And if that sounds extremely boring to you, then you're probably not going to enjoy the video I do on it. I've always been a fan of simulation type games, God Sims, such as Populous and Black and White. And recently I tried Goddess, which was made by Peter Molyneux as a Kickstarter. He invented Populous. He kind of invented God Sims. It wasn't very good. And SimCity was one of my favourites. Civ as well, Civilization series. I don't know what it is about it. I think just the power of being in charge of creating these things, and the creativity and the planning and the strategy that comes out of building these cities or civilizations is something I've just always enjoyed. Maybe I have a god complex. Who knows? But the new SimCity is pretty cool. They told me about it, that it was out. I've been playing it, so I'm going to do a review / in-game stream to show people if they're interested. That'll be coming on this channel, so subscribe now if you're interested in the next couple of weeks. I'm also not been showing off my Geeky T-Shirts like I promised a couple of weeks ago. Mainly because it's been friggin' freezing here. And I say that, it's probably not cold for most viewers, but where I live in Perth, it's usually pretty hot. So it's been chilly, so I'm wearing a jacket and a shirt. But I will be wearing the new Geek shirt that's coming in my loot crate in the next few days. In an upcoming episode, even if I do freeze to death afterwards. I want to talk a little bit about DC animated films, and to some extent the Marvel animated films. The DC animated films, funnily enough, are actually generally better than their live action films, unlike Marvel. But I just watched Son of Batman, the newest one that came out this month. Covers Batman's finding out that he has a son raised by the League of Shadows, Ra's al Ghul and Talia al Ghul, Damian Wayne. Interesting storyline from the comics that they've made into a film. I really like the Damian Wayne character and the different conflict between Batman and Damian than, say, Tim Drake or Jason Todd or even Dick Grayson, the other versions of his surrogate children that have played the Robin character. It's a good movie, I really like them. Under the Red Hood was another really good Batman, and there's been a couple of really good Justice League movies as well, so I highly recommend you check it out if you're a fan of Batman and DC. Marvel have done some good Avengers work as well. There's a lot of really good comic book content that just isn't about the live action films that you should check out. Speaking of comics, also finally finished reading the Deathmatch comic series, which I'll probably do a review video of as well. a supervillain captures the world's greatest superheroes and villains and puts them into a deathmatch situation. There's a lot of archetypes here of characters that you'll be familiar with, even though they're original design from both DC and Marvel and some other characters. What's interesting about it is he forces them to fight to the death, but when they're in the actual arena, the characters don't have memories of necessarily who they are or more their prior relationships. So there's a lot of conflict comes out of it when they return and they've perhaps killed one of their best friends or even someone they've been in a relationship with and not realised until after. It's a really good comic series outside of the DC and Marvel universes, and I highly recommend that you check it out, and there will be a video coming soon. If you have any questions of other things that you would like me to talk about that maybe I haven't, I finally decided to start watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. again. When that series started, I watched the first two and I wasn't really that keen on it, but people have told me it got much better after a shaky start. So I will be watching that series, especially after watching Captain America Winter Soldier. I'm really interested to see how that's going to affect Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show because of what happens at the end of that movie. So if you like this channel and you want to hear more from me, please do subscribe below. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Until next time, this was Geekwalker. I'll see you later.